Oh, hello there. Mr. Bishop, hello. Irish Skeleton. Lord Dugpa. Welcome to hell. Or something. We marvel at the serenity of the forest and crave the shroud of its silence. Let's play the game. I have no idea what this is about. Oh my goodness. Lord Bishop, thank you very much for the membership. I thank you. My dude, it was very nice of you. It has been too long since we've been on YouTube. Thank you for becoming a sponsor, Bishop. Hey, Hadros, good to see you. Who says, good day, Boar. Yes. So I have no idea what this game is about. I just know that it's vaguely concerning maybe the post-apocalyptic wasteland, I don't know. But there's trees, I'm confused. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Road wardens not only accept the struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. It's a dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. I leave the safety of the city walls. I still have my doubts. Jay Feathers, good to see you. Yes, it's been too long. I'm sorry. Officer Chunk says, is this the new Vegas Courier? It is. I leave this, I'm gonna say, I leave the safety of the city walls. Please select the difficulty mode. This choice can't be altered later. Go to standard. Let me know if the music is too loud. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around. No stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar. The camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk, nor trolls. And the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. I recently learned that palfrey is a horse you ride, and a destrier is a horse you do battle on, because you wouldn't want to ride into battle on the same horse. Then you would have at least 2 replacement horses. And now you know. I could just look for another shelter. I need to look around, cautiously. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. Mr. E, oh my god, it's been a billion years. Happy New Year's to you as well. I'm out of breath today. I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. What do you guys think? What should we do? I could just look around for shelter. Another one. I need to look around. I think I need to look around cautiously. Should be our choice here. Alright, Mr. E. I miss you as well. We shall, sir. Alright. Since chat is falling over themselves answering, I will choose this one. I need to look around, cautiously. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley. But you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. Okay. I dismount and sneak to the gate. Let's peek inside. Alright, your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Alright then, I approach the gate slowly. What's this? Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher chance you'll die in combat. I notice I have a 3 out of 4 vitality. I don't want to feel just well, I want to feel great. I approach... What's my archive? I approach the gate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. I could just look for another shelter. They don't look like much of a threat. I can enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace, with a head covered in iron, hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. I take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe? I let them speak first. It's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong, yet timid. What does that mean? You'll be staying the night with us, I guess? We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her moment switches from half asleep to relaxed. Her moment, that has to be a typo. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you're taking the first watch, it'd be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you'd need a good sleep. I'm exhausted. The man looks away. If you say so. Though better to keep your ex nearby. The nights here they can get spooky. I'd say sinister. The other soldier snorts. I ask them about their lieutenant. I think I need to turn down the volume just a little tiny bit. Alrighty. Oh. So what do you guys think so far about the game? You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. We have friendly, be supportive and cordial. We have playful, use a joke or witty comment. Distanced, hide your emotions. Intimidating, hint at a threat. Vulnerable, be sad, tired, afraid, or hopeless. I'm going to be distanced. I'll just say, yeah, I'm looking for your lieutenant. Oh, I should probably see all the options each attitude has. Bishop says I like it. Well, great. The woman stands up, dusts off her gambeson, adjusts the sword at her side, and rests her hand on the hilt. Her shoulders are straight, her eyes attentive. It'd be me, traveler. Are you in trouble? I'm fine. I'm your new road warden. I took you for a wayfarer, to be honest. When you mention that your mount is waiting outside, she raises an eyebrow. Shouldn't you unsaddle it? I bet it's tired. She glances at the gate, then at her companion. Her voice drops the slightest sign of weariness. I expect you're looking for directions. I'll help as much as I can. She reaches out to you. Lieutenant Tullia. I shake her hand. I'm ... It may be a trap. I gesture for her to stop, pretending to be embarrassed. I should wash myself first, but you can call me... oh my god, this is a paranoid answer. I don't shake her hand. I'm ... I'm just gonna shake her hand. How do you want people to call you? The option is Leto, but we can choose our own name. Well, chat, if any of you are still here, do you have any suggestions for a good road warrior name? I don't really know if we are in fantasy, medieval fantasy, or cowboy days, or what. It does seem like its own universe, though. Like, says Leto is good, would also accept Paul. It's Pete the Geek. Oh my goodness, my voice is like all... I feel like winded today. Alright. Slash McBad. Merc Dog 84, how's it going? I will add your surname. Her grasp is confident. The shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Bishop says, medieval scroll-like looking text would make it better though. Agreed. Oh my god, it's Utopian, hello. Look, says, don't tell me how to live my life, devil woman. I then kill her instantly. There's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. I should get used to sleeping on the ground anyway. Yeah, no problem. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky. As heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath. Most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. It's my only companion here. I wanted to feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need it to be strong if I want to travel. And I can't afford another one. I'll just do number one so I don't seem like a jackass. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals and even pets as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. That's awesome. But you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Moving the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back, just in case. While riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time, it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than just this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. I need to unpack. Ooh, I love in-character character creation. Choice-based. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. Worst of all, you have no rope left. But maybe the soldiers could share one. I almost said spare. They could spare. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Oh, we trade in items. Interesting. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions, essential for your trade. Alright, and our trade is... Fighter. I spent my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with corals. Mage. I have talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. Scholar. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a worn gambeson, and a healing potion. Or I could say I want to learn more about the 3 classes. Pete says learn more, alright. As a fighter, you'll have an easier time in physical challenges, thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You'll be physically more capable than the other classes. What opens unique opportunities during some social interactions, it's the best class for RPG beginners. I think that was a typo as well. Hey Aquila, good to see you. Long time no see indeed. The fighter's weakness is their reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. Alright. The mage uses Pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy points that can be spent to cast a few humble spells. Magic won't protect you better than a sharp axe, but as a mage, you'll be able to heal faster while resting. Detect magic in a mysterious area. Distract a beast with a simple trick, and find a common tongue with other magic users. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in having no Pneuma left when you need it the most. Since we're not playing Hoth, I'm gonna skip that one. I would have definitely done another Hoth playthrough if I had known. Okay, our last choice is the Scholar. The Scholar will know more about the world's mysteries than you, helping you take advantage of some unusual situations. Your character will impress the locals with its knowledge. You'll be able to read the sparse written clues without anyone's assistance. Scholars struggle with combat more than other classes. But with enough carefulness and exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape from many dangerous situations. Okay, so I think the Scholar fits my roleplay style more, but the Fighter fits my playstyle more. Pete says, Scholar sounds tedious. Anyone else? What will it be? Should we be a fighter or a scholar? Just want to give a moment for anyone else to chime in. If not, then I shall pick fighter. Pete the Geek says, what got me was struggle with combat. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not trying to, I don't know, do this multiple times. Or, you know, I don't want to scum save too much. Fighter it is. Bishop says fighter, thank you. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here, just in case. You take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. What is in my inventory? Let's just get a visual log here. Pete the Geek says, my fighter would carry some wolf's bane. Thank you for telling me that. My fighter would carry wolf's bane. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. You can examine your possessions at all times. Pete the Geek says a powerful mind-altering herb. Pete the Geek, we found 20 kilos of crack cocaine in your inventory. I return to the soldiers. What do we have here? Oh, armor is 3 out of 4, got it. It will stop even a life-threatening strike. With your current gambeson, it's the best protection you can get. They're at the table again. I guess this is the next morning, maybe. Observing your beast and chatting between themselves. I love the idea that the horse is a rare thing and animals are mistrusted. So monsters are that prevalent. There's no meal for you, but you can sit down on a tree log. I take some of my own rations. I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about the area. Yeah, I eat some of my own rations. In the last inn, you got a smelling loaf of dark bread, decorated with sunflower seeds. It tastes great, even by itself. When on the road, most people have to think about themselves. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to the other, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Pete says, what is a smelling loaf? I think what they meant is like pungent. It smells good. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat, patrolling the same roads for years. They help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. Different playstyles. I eat slowly, enjoying myself. In the meantime, I speak with Tulia. She's focused on choosing her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I can only say as much as I know, and that's not much. She nods towards the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead. 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land. I made him older. Adds her companion. Can I highlight over this? Pete the Geek says, is that there's some sort of language barrier? I think there is. Do you have any piece of information that might help me do my job? The man leans forward. His legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. How should I do his voice then? What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. Oh, thank you, Pete. Okay, my options are: I share what I consider to be relevant. What I've discussed with the officials should stay between me and them. Hmm. Yeah, I share what I consider to be relevant. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received, since this area is too far away from Ovlaven to keep it under control. You were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests? From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Oh, where shall we start? What should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I guess it would be 3-4 days? When you confirm, she continues. From here you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get there? Get here? You nod. The sea route always allows Hovlaven officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast, such as this one, is like filling the ocean depths with coins. It's a nice analogy. Simile. Because of the rocks, says I. You can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. She nods. I don't know much about I almost thought this was fisting. I don't know much about fishing. But there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp. But when we traveled to the roadside inn, Pelt of the North, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Oh my goodness, it's Moseth. Good evening, Moseth. He says, evening, Boar. Happy New Year to you, my dude, and to all here on the chat. Oh, well, thank you very much. Everyone, please help me in thanking Moseth, one of our longest members of chat ever. Dude, always good to see you, and thank you once again. Charlie, hello. Who says, hey, bud, long time. Welcome to Road Warrior. A text-based story adventure. I'm some sort of ranger, I think. I'm like a road warden, yeah. So I'm kind of getting the lay of the land right now. We've just started. I've chosen my class. We're a fighter. Hopefully this is relaxing. If I can manage to speak properly and read properly, which I can't. So my character asks him, why not just stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, you know, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post. And, well, he turns towards Tullia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Leto McBad. But are you a devout soul? Her name is Leto McBad, by the way. Like, okay, so we can choose our religious affiliation, which is awesome. Like most city folk, that's something the Elder Scrolls doesn't have. Sort of. Okay, so option 1. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm part of the United Church. Or, for many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. Or, I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. I think shell is like body. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. Douglas says, I mean, I usually play as a racist, Daedra-worshipping Nord, and the game mechanics allow me to. Right. I mean, you don't, there's no, besides the Daedra, really, you can't go around, you know, saying, I am officially a member of Zenithar's church. But yeah, you're right. Oh, that was a joke? I mean, hilarious. I'm sorry. I need to relax. That was a joke? That made me sound like a dick. I have a strong connection to nature and spirits, and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. Or I can say there's no evidence of the right's existence, with a W, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. Okay, so, with those being illustrated for you, what should we be? Should we be a member of the United Church? An Order of Truth? My own fellowship? A pagan? Or agnostic? What do you think, Chad? Liquid says, you know my vote, I'm thinking, the fellowship one, or pagan. Pete says I'd go with the last one. Bishop says fellowship. Moses says pagan, and Jamie Cochran says agnostic. Hello, by the way. Okay, so we got 2 for agnostic, and we got, I believe 2 for pagan. Moses did donate a little super chat, so let's do pagan. A pagan road warden? The man scratches his head without the slightest subtlety. Now, I'm sure we can have a conversation. We're civilized people. The lieutenant clears her throat. I'm from the United Church, but I'm not a priest or anything. And definitely not a zealot. There was an awkward pause. The United Church has spilled the blood of countless pagan tribes, making it clear that who's not with them is against them. Your family shared gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. I'll just be amicable and say, sure, I'm not looking for squabbles. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Now she's anxious. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials. Here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger, as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. In the northwest, I wish we had a visual. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod. She means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. But says as soon as she turns around, Blood Eagle her. Very well. I'll say, I see. You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions that they have to deal with, and the rustic, pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. Liquid says, okay, that sounds awesome. Yeah, dude, I am loving this world. I had no expectations for this game. Hey, Dino. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. Were you about to speak with these necromancers? You can see why we were not eager to go there if we could avoid it. The lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a road warden. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt I wish they would introduce themselves. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Tully nods. Helt of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards. Ask them about the road. Cody says, Boar is cute. Thank you, father. Cody, how are you? Good to see you. I'm Dino. I ask, how about the east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches. But we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that could catch my mount? We saw all sorts of beasts. Oh, we saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, treants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked bears, mufflin eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Tullia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting amongst themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast. Just count on luck. That's all I need to know. I'm doing well, Cody. Thanks for asking. She nods. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. Do you have any idea about what happened to the previous road warden? Talia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for our rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves. Oh, the soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their stories straight. They confirm that he has stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife, without looking at you. I don't remember his voice, always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on that wax tablet of his. Cody Volpe, I know you've seen some of these people before. God damn it. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Tulia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. The man carves with passion. What? Who wrote this? Let me see. Did I already read this? Oh, the man, yeah. We haven't seen him or his saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer roadwardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least their palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message. Neither of us have had any insight into his dealings, says Tolia. My predecessor left me no clues. He also took a look at Astorian's stuff. Oh, wait! Wait! She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Hovlavin. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions, quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned, and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come and see us? Come see us? What? Tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Hovland together. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Hovlavin in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. Find the Roadwarden. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear, mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long red beard, short hair, pale face. Rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after, he adds nothing. She sits down and stretches out her legs. So, find out what happened to him, dead, alive, left, just let me know. I have lost my rope. Could you spare one? Oh, you're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves it aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. I take a closer look. Mother of God. I take it and offer some food in return. I lost a food ration. Tully leans forward and rests her forearms on her thighs, looking down with clasped hands, then meets her eyes. I normally refuse, but we need some decent food. Every day I'm searching through our goats, our groats even, looking for worms and putridity. We forage, but it's not a great spot. Some food rations will brighten up a foggy day. Douglas says, you also know my thoughts on always having a rope. Indeed, and to never leave one behind. For now, you leave the rope on the table. Okay. What happened to your squad? Hey, do I know you by another name on Twitch? Man shrugs. Bandits happened, and monsters. A strong band, though. His companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arms, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap. The armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Talia sighs, very much so. They killed some and took others away, who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kinda worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate, it's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp. But we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had ice mages amongst them. Oh, they had an ice mage. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road, saved lives. You mentioned monsters as well. Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader, and they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a tree ant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt. So a werebear tore her to pieces. My God. The last one tried to act tough. Didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off. What's wrong with this person? And when he was ashamed that he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. Cody, I'm glad to have you here. I'll just stay silent. Saying you've made this place safer would be a total lie. Talia seems defeated. Talia, how did you become a lieutenant? Didn't you just tell me everyone else died? What's your squad's mission? The lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual, making the road safe, keeping people alive. I explain that it may be important for me to know what they've tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. You hence no hesitation. Do you have any other questions? I don't know why I don't trust them. If you were me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather here. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Talia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. Is there anything else I should know about this camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here. The pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. The bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Only time will tell. Hey, Twitcherin. You can sleep here whenever you want. The man concludes their tale. Though, don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Talia, how did you become a lieutenant? That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of, what should I call it? She exchanges a look with her companion. It can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. A Vlavan chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those... Okay, chain of command, right. So right, everyone else died and she was the only one left in charge. So you were his successor? Not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him. It's 2023, Boar. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. She pauses. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Or I can say, jumping like that to save a man in the middle of attack. In the middle of an attack. ... Doesn't sound like a wise choice. I agree. But so what? He's dead. I doubt he's going to learn much from scolding. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyway. Good evening, Pete. I'll see you later. Lord Rastafarian, who says, dude, I haven't watched one of your streams in a long time. Hello. Welcome back to hell. It's getting late. We should prepare for the night. I agree, Talia says. Talia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. She winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Thank you for your help. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it'll only get worse. Your horse is already napping. Still, too anxious to lay down. Alright then, I look for a place protected from wind. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the ground, and cover myself with my cloak. You aren't used to sleeping in such harsh conditions. I'm not? I'm a Roadwarden. But it's better than nothing. It is nothing. The weather is gentle. Maybe you won't catch a cold. The stars instantly inspire your dreams, both with their splendor and by making you look for patterns and shapes amongst them. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. I'm gonna pour a little tiny bit of a drinking poo, hang on. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiating with Vlavan officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the orders, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Hey, Bob. Once you finish your reconnaissance, You should speak with Tolia and return to Hovlavin. There, you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. I need to gather some extra coins so I can help a person I care about. Hey, Dagira. Been a while. Good to see you. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. If I can gather enough connections amongst the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as a soul who brought peace and order to this realm. A hero. I just want to help people. Make this region safer for the locals and the newcomers alike. I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past, and I want it to be forgotten. Okay, chat, what's our character's motivation? From those options. My character fell in love with a dinosaur. The end. Alright, well... Twitchy Rain says gathering connections, let's do it. Gain influence. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid late summer air evens it out slowly. What's this? You can't travel during the night? Press the sleep button to rest. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. Sleeping on the ground. Your blanket won't be much of a bed, and the palisade barely covers you from the wind. Sleeping here will be severely uncomfortable. Great. That actually hurt me. What's this? You're surrounded by sunlight. Your back begs you to stand up. Before you fully wake up, you smell a roast. No, burning meat. Burning rotten meat. Disgust crawls towards your consciousness. You stand up. Normally you would dust off your cape and blanket, but your instincts are stronger than your routine. They better not have killed my horse. The horse is looking around nervously, thank God. The bags are where you left them. You see an open gate. I go outside and see what's happening. I'm going to quick save. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Tolia is the first one to address you. Leto McBad? She greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. You see a corpse amongst the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or female, but it was an adult. The burning process won't be over for a couple of more hours. A traveler or an undead? The latter. A young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear. What in the fuck? From a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now it took a couple of hits to knock her down. What the fuck? Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours. And each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice. It's a necessity. Oh, she was a zombie. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Twitchy Rain in chat says, you will now play the Oblivion's persuasion game for every NPC you encounter. God damn it. Tolia calls this undead a she. Most Most unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She looks again at the fire. Find us here if you learn what happened to Asterion. We leave once the fall comes, if not sooner. Safe travels. These words make you stop. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but yet you hear no scorn in Tolia's voice. She observes the fire with one hand on her hip, the other on her chin. I shall now prepare myself for the journey. You gather your equipment and spend half an hour warming up and preparing your mount. Double checking the buckled straps. I need to sip some water. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt. Then you get in the saddle, the palfrey knickers, ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads north from here. I need to ride north. Travel. Okay, so there is a map. Travel forward to continue your journey. Once you're done with the north, speak with Tolia to return to Hovlaven. I can't read. Map key. Show map key. Alright, let's go north. Oh my god. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find a pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is a different size, coat, and color, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. I'm going to quick save, and then consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, I think it would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible, and why adventurers move in groups. Usually, the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tolia. You've got a lot to do, and time may be of the essence. There's a note here that says, if you have any vitality points, you can use the warrior's training to access unique interactions. It's at half. My nourishment is also at half. My armor is at 3/4. My appearance, oh my god. People are hesitant to trust you. Your face is dirty. Oh my goodness, that's great. This is well thought out. Force? As an experienced warrior, you gain an advantage during physical struggles. Okay. So our options are, I take my axe and hurry to the horse. And hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. I should stay here. Better safe than sorry. Or I grab my crossbow. A light hit should be enough to make them scatter. Okay. I will leave those options to you. Fight, wait, or charge through. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and let you guys decide. have returned. Okay, no comment from chat, so I'm just gonna pick one at random. I'm going to shoot at them to try to scatter them. Okay, I have 2 quarrels left. Crossbows are an easy weapon to use, and you've got plenty of time to aim. The creature falls on its side and screams, alerting its companions. Confused, they look around. And after a short time, they run away, one of them limping, with your quarrel in its side. Thank you, Dugba. You can learn more about your abilities in the character sheet, okay? Let's take a look at that. Horse. While your vitality is above 0, you find ways to overcome physical struggles. Advanced training, you have an advantage during physical interactions that involve random chance. So appearance is cleanliness, regular vitality. Your clothes need no special repairs. Your clothes are not stained with blood. You've got a regular outfit. These are good things to think about for D&D too. Combat experience, spared animals. That is something I did not do. Religion, pagan, right? Faith, undetermined. What? The strength of your religious conviction is measured by your actions and judgments. Oh, I've not lied yet. That's good. Sewing experience. Your practice with fixing your clothes and armor with the usage of proper tools. I like that. Gambling. That is cool. I shall save. I ride forward. How's the mic, by the way? I'm a little out of breath today. I don't know why. I did go for a jog this morning, so maybe it's that. Keep track of your achievements as you... Oh, achievements. Mike, is he okay? Alright. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. That's a trap. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How'd it go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly dare? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write, for folks who can't read. Covered in old red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say. Danger to be found. There is not a soul to ask for guidance. I look at my horse. I defy you, game. Horse, tell me. What is your horse's name? Sodal or... What do you say, Chad? Do you care? Douglas says, name your horse Charles. Very well. Charles is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on. It takes a couple of steps forward. You spot a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Explore east or explore west? We go to the inn? Or should we go to the unknown? Douglas says, go east. Very well. The curvy road east is overgrown. Charles trots when it has a chance, but more often it walks, forced to jump over larger branches blocking the path. The nearby lake is surrounded by thirsty wildlife. I observe the dark forest, ready to react if something jumps at me. What the? A couple of stone slabs were turned into a hut-like shape. One of the ancient chapels raised by the priests of the United Church in the days of few soldiers and even fewer shelters. Dolmens proved to be especially durable, though the conditions they offered were harsh. The entrance is barely wide enough to let you walk inside. It was meant to keep larger beasts away, including your palfrey. You cannot spend the night here. You dismount and look around. The options are I enter the chapel or I approach the hourglass carved into the stone. What? It's the most common religious sign of the city folk, adapted by the United Church, Orders of Truth, and the majority of fellowships. It's used in temples and during the funeral rites, but also to decorate codices or jewelry. The winged hourglass portray the ephemerality of life and the rigidity of time. When possible, they're made of steel, signifying the strength of humankind's determination and innovation. I feel disgusted seeing this cursed symbol. I should defile it. I don't want the locals to get upset at me for destroying their sacred signs. I step away. Yeah, I'm working for them. God. Charles is looking for the next clump of grass to graze upon. I enter the chapel. The beams of light hit through the gaps between the rocks, but you can hardly see anything. A torch would fill the place with smoke, but a candle will suffice. You wonder how many travelers have sat on the cold rock, observing the entrance and fighting with their heavy eyelids. Do I have a candle? I just can't use it, okay. Weird. I look around. What are you looking for or paying attention to? Holy shit, you can enter your own text. Oh my goodness. Naked women. You don't find that. Gold. If it's nearby, you need to figure out how to get to it. Candle. Items. Potato. Artifacts. Anything? And you find nothing. I go outside. Charles is leaning against the wall, napping. Alright. Look for an automatic weapon, whatever. I feel like we should go to that inn. Charles trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest. This is fun, dude. I'm having a blast. Which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, awesome, roe deer, I don't know what a roe deer is, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You notice a stone tower, taller than the trees. It must be that inn I've heard about. Awesome. Inns like this one fit the regions traveled by merchants. But you wouldn't expect a place of this size in a forsaken peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the buildings, and at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into the fortress were worth many trading ships. Holy shit. Three armed people are on the ramparts, though you can only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet, right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They wear gambesons. Each one of them dyed differently: yellow, green, and linen gray. I approach the gate. But first, a quick save. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, you don't have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly.
I ain't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh?
I'm not sure if I'm going to land on that voice. Doug says, I still kind of want to buy a gambeson, just to wear around the house. That would be cool. Build yourself an armor stand first. Let's see. Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Tovlaven.
But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say.
She exchanges a few words with a male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer.
Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse?
She seems jovial. I will be playful. I laugh. You wouldn't believe it. The lessons were a pain. You get off your horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey, when your whole shell was crying. You illustrate the pain as you move your hand from your back to hips and thighs. In return, the guards tell you about that time when they had to carry their friend with bitten-off legs for 3 days straight through the heart of the woods. Meanwhile, the other guards open the gate. Oh my god. Oprah says that's a great idea. Q.
You may be in a good mood.
The woman in the yellow jacket smiles at you.
But don't get too noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has the world's suffering sculpted on his face.
She leads you under the roof, under which your palfrey can rest. Tethered with a cord to a wooden post. Here's some old hay.
Once you're ready, go inside, speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry?
I don't know if this is an inn or not. The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then as they're splitting firewood, plaiting their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head towards the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. I open the door. New shelter unlocked. Only some of the windows are open, revealing the dust dancing in the sunbeams. The air is a bit stuffy. A muscular man is sweeping the floors near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft, with a city-like accent. He observes you with keen attention. It avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale, wormwood, bog, myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. He fills a mug carefully and puts it on the countertop. It's gonna spoil soon. Today, maybe. We don't drink here before the evening. It says we don't drink here before the even. Maybe it means evening. And he says, I hate to see some good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare among the southern tribes, and his hair is naturally bluish. Do you think it means literally purple or just like so black it's super black? His hair is naturally bluish. Oh, maybe... But then they say blue black and they just mean dark black. Whatever. His clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. I stand at the counter. I need a bath. You drank too much grape juice? I didn't know you were a doctor, Tugpa. I didn't know that was in the DSM-5. You'd be surprised, Boar. The planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Weird? Douglas says, yes, I am. He has grape juice poisoning. Mother of God. So the legends are true. Here you go. He pushes the mug forward. But just so you know, my pelt of the north doesn't belong to Havlaven. You can sleep on the floor if you wish to, but if you want a bed or a meal, you'll have to pay. We may have some leftovers from dinner, but I need to check. Yeah, your inn sucks ass, dude. Distance, playful, friendly, intimidating, I'll just be distanced. I won't stay here for long. I introduce myself. He nods and fills another mug, this time with water. I guess there's no point in waiting for Asterion then. I'm glad to see someone taking his place. Even my crew here hits the road only if they need to see the healers of Howler's Dell. And they're more than resourceful. Oh, and they're more than resourceful. Welcome back, Cody. He has 6 months to live. Yes. God damn it. It's like that kid from Willy Wonka. A road warden is always going to find work here, in the north. Though maybe not on the eastern road. He takes a mouthful of water and drinks it with a pleased sigh. There are no guests here at this time, or hardly ever. I can take a short break. For a brief moment, he meets your eyes. Should we drink the ale or not? Douglas says, it's exactly like that, yeah. That is odd. I don't think I'm going to drink the ale. I say I have questions. Sure, go ahead. I could eat something. Do you have any leftovers? What do you have for sale? Do I have anything you'd like to buy? I'm looking for Asterion, the previous road warden. What can you tell me about the peninsula? Yeah, let's start with small talk. Douglas says, I don't think you should. You have to drive. That's right. Is it called driving still if you're riding a horse? I don't think so. But that's still funny. I smiled. What could anyone say? This place doesn't have a name unless there's an old book in an archive that no soul knows about. You know what I'd call everything from here to the coast? The hunting ground. He glances at your eyes. But it's not us who hunt. Keep that in heart. The beasts in all shapes and forms. His words gain confidence slowly, which is strengthened by his deep voice. I've lived in this inn for over 10 years now, and I've only seen a couple of roads, a couple of places. It's just, once you get here, and you see how harsh it is to hit the road, you have only more reasons to stay at the warm stove behind a wall, even if it's suffocating. He looks towards the windows. Douglas says, probably not, but you can also still get an OWI on a horse. Holy shit. You can get a DUI on a bike? My God. Oh yeah, that's in the driving manual when you learn it as a kid. It's something like these laws pertain to riding horses on the streets. I think, anyway. Douglas says, yeah, I know a dude who got a DUI on a bike and I had to do 30 days. And had to do 30 days. Holy shit. That is insane. Alright. I'm sure you've heard a lot already, he says. But the people don't build hamlets anymore. There are no more ibexes from the south. And the traders stay for only a few days. All of our iron is used for cauldrons, not swords or tools. My god, this place is in rough shape. Raraneko0830, thank you for the subscribe. And welcome. So my options are... what will I find traveling west? Well, there are hills nearby. Then you'll find a village. Maybe an hour away from here. It was destroyed by beasts almost a decade ago. Nothing to see there. And the goblins live there now, so most people just travel around it. And they say it's haunted. But who knows? Who cares? He crosses his arms and starts to sway back and forth, gathering his thoughts. You'll get to a large tree on the edge of the swamp. For the locals, it's sacred. I don't know why I'm gesturing in real life. You're not used to hearing someone mentioning pagans as if there were nothing unusual about them. There's a small path south, which leads to an old mine in the mountains, but there's nothing to find there. But keep riding north and you'll find Howler's Dell, set at a clean brook. Farmers live there, and mufflins and druids. They'll let you stay for a night, but they're not cheap. If anyone else thinks my prices are bad, it means they ain't been to They haven't been to the Ape Ale Inn yet. He lets out a gentle smile. This guy's more personal than the other people let on. I smile politely because that's what non-sociopaths do. I know only a bit about the next settlement, Old Pagos. The soil there ain't too fertile, so they work in their quarry and help other settlements build things in exchange for crops. The forests and hills ain't too harsh, but the Seekers have a small monastery nearby, in the mountains. I don't care much about them. They keep to themselves, and they don't pay well. I'm detecting a common thread. The third village is unknown to me. White marshes, set of the bogs. I've heard it smells like a griffin's lair. I've heard a lot of nasty rumors about that place, but I won't share them. I don't want to be a lie spreader. So, 3 villages really. Howlers, one near the monastery, whatever it's called, and marshes. Don't let their beds and palisades fool you though. Weird people live there. Don't tell them more than you need to. You wonder if it's something he would tell other travelers as well. I feel like I'm getting special treatment. Are the eastern roads as rough as I've heard? Have you ever been to the northern coast? Yeah. Are the eastern roads as rough as I heard? Pretty much. Don't leave the main road, I'd say. Not so far from here you'll find an old dolmen. We did find that. A few of my people had to spend a night there, and monkeys stole food and what's a god from their bags. It was their fault. One of them had fallen asleep in the middle of his watch, but, you know, the eastern forests are wild. The roads are rough. Almost no soul lives out there. One day all these roads will be swallowed by the trees again. Holy shit, this country is in steep decline. The furthest my team has ever gone was the home of the Enchantress. Whoa. Stay on track until you reach the crossroads, right near an abandoned watchtower. From there, turn east. You'll recognize the place. It's a nice home in a lonely meadow, surrounded by a wall. Tugby says, God. A showy or purely ornamental thing? He looks towards the closed window, then at you again. Kind of like our walls, but simpler, without coating. She lives as a hermit, Eudocia. I don't even know how she survives there, but if you don't have decent coin, you won't find much there. So back to the crossroads. If you turn left instead, you'll see a road. People stay away from it. It connects the tower and the monastery. A short... God, I need a map. I'm very visual, I'm not audio. Audio? A shortcut between the two sides of the peninsula. I was warned by the locals not to use it. It already belongs to the beasts. Have you ever been to the northern coast? Auditory, thank you, Dugma. I only know about another inn. It's far from here, maybe a day on foot, a bit less from the eastern side. His eyes once again focus on the floor. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a safe place, close to villages of fishers and hunters. Though I don't know how much about them. That's all I need. I'm taking on the southern draw now, because I'm a good old boy. What do you need? I didn't expect to find an inn of this size in a place such as this. I'm looking for Asterion. Oh, you know. He goes to the table and invites you to sit down with him. I don't think I'm going to be of much help. He rests his elbow on the table and grunts quietly to clear his throat. But I do want you to find him, so... When asked about his intentions, he measures his words. Asterion and I made a risky deal. Well, a very promising one. Last time he was here, he took 50 coins, my half of the investment. He knocks on the table with a fist, anxiously. If you get my coin, or at least find out what happened to the guy, I'll make sure you won't be disappointed after bringing me the news. Could it be that Asterion stole the coins and ran away? He looks at the window and starts to play with a shutter. I just think Asterion ain't the kind of soul that would do such a thing. It's potato perfection, oh my god. Oh my god. How's it going? Welcome to a text-based RPG. And it's awesome. It's story time, my dudes. Choose your own adventure. The bread and butter of this channel. What's going on? Yeah, he's not the kind of soul who would do that. For him, it wasn't much of a fortune, and I'd risk saying he had earned my trust. Not only mine, you know. It's easy for a road warden to make connections. He always had places to go, things to take care of. He rubs the table with his thumb, as if trying to clean an invisible stain. I've asked travelers. I've sent a couple of my pals to find him. No real news. I know he stayed in White Marshes for a day, and was meant to do something for the people there. It's a village in the northwest. Just stay on the main road until you reach the bogs, then enter them. You may get there before dusk. So, let me know once you find anything, and we may yet return to this whole investment thing. Potato Perfection in chat says, I'm doing okay, thanks. What about yourself? I am well. I'm just chillin'. I'll tell him I'll think about it. We'll do this for a few hours. I do have to prepare for D&D tomorrow. But we'll go for a few hours more. What else do you need? Let's see. I could eat something. Do you have any leftovers? Yes. I feed them to our boar. I won't give them away for nothing.
He tells you to wait, and leaves the building for a few minutes and returns with a wooden bucket and a long stick ending with a hook.
Go through the gate and turn left. You'll see a bunch of bushes. But eat some berries. Bring me a bucket full, and you'll be done in half an hour or so. Your horse could use a nap anyway, and I'll prepare something to fill you.
The hook is not made of metal or wood. It's a long curved claw, almost black. I reach for the tools. Half an hour. That's quite a lot for berry picking. The tools are cold, not too heavy. You notice a pair of thick gloves at the bottom of the bucket.
The berries are not the problem.
The innkeeper smirks.
Unlike the snakes, better scare them away with a stick, or move them with a hook, and protect your hands. The little ones won't eat you, but don't get bitten. I'm sure you know how to be patient.
I have other questions. I didn't expect to find an inn of this size in such a place as this.
So you do know a thing or two after all.
His mocking tone is soon replaced by a gentle smile.
It was built long before we arrived. It didn't work out well for the previous owners. Once the war ended, they left. Not enough travelers, bad trade. The village is sick to themselves. We, however, came prepared. And now we're prospering.
Right. Prospering. When you ask him how they can afford all the supplies, he runs his fingers through his dark hair.
I'm not against running an inn, but we don't rely on guests. We're the ones doing all the trading. My hunters are a clever bunch and stay safe in the forest. In exchange for furs, claws, and bones, we get what we need, and more, both from the south and the north.
He moves to the window and peeks outside.
We have a good life here. We spend a whole lot on armor, crossbows, lumber, spears. But in another 10, maybe 20 years, we'll have enough savings to move to Havlaven and not work for another day of our lives. We take risks, but smartly. The team is stronger than ever, and I have big plans for us.
How do I get bandit vibes? It's surprising to find a purple-skinned man so far in the north.
I ain't seen a soul looking like this since my ma died. He shrugs. It's not a fascinating tale. Let's just say I wasn't part of the invasion, yet I'm glad it freed all those who were chained by the cities and their corsairs.
He looks at the wall.
I'm Layson, by the way, but I rarely hear the name.
What's the story behind the inn's name?
I mean, there's a story, but not a good one. He clears his throat. For years, I wanted to have an inn called Pelt, but in my city, it would be in bad taste. Taverns and inns named a single word were cheap, had a nasty reputation. Now, there was a claw, mugger, basilisk, blissful, I think. Good places used at least 2 words: empty barrel, rose, and a hamlet, empress smile. Pighead was the exception. It was a real dive.
He chuckles.
In my soul, it's just a pelt. Pelts are what we came here for, and what will make us reach our goals.
I return to my other questions. Any rumors worth sharing?
I don't like to talk about people who ain't nearby, but you know what you're doing. Who are you wondering about?
Who am I wondering about?
Yeah, Tolia. I ain't seen Tolia in quite some time. Since her squad vanished in the fogs, she's been careful. Glad to know she's still alive. She's too inexperienced to lead others to battle, I think. He shrugs. Like most people, she needs to follow others, but she already knows that. There's nothing worse than a fighter too stupid to limit their ambitions. Who else? Asterion. Well, not a large man, though broad-shouldered. He's got red hair and a beard. I don't know what else to say. He raises a muscled arm and places a hand on the back of his head. He was a fine fellow, but I doubt he's alive. He always tried to, stay away from things, let's say. People knew him, but he didn't really have allies. Maybe the locals know what happened to him. They decided not to help him. Or maybe they wanted to get rid of him. He leans forward, looking at his boots. Asterion was a fine man. A quiet one, but not dumb. He aided me many times, not for free, of course. And when he couldn't finish the job, it was for damn good reasons. And you know what? He looks you in the eyes. He was scrupulous, patient. I'd be shocked if he died because of some mistake of his. Maybe the bandits got him. Why not? Do you have any rumors about yourself? Do you have any rumors about... Whoa, ape and monkeys. You got any rumors about monkeys? You cannot type. I don't know monkeys, okay. Do you need anything done? Oh my god, I could use a job. No, I got a dumb person staring at me. I assume you mean a job for a road warden. Tell you what. He looks you in the eyes. Again, there are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike. But they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt they're the reason why merchants come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Thais, the mayor, about Glossia, that bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Glossia is ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them to get rid of her band. He looks at a nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days don't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? Sure. About Glossia's band. Okay, I'm on it. Do I have anything you'd like to buy? You pull out some items, but the innkeeper shakes his head. I don't need those, nor could I sell them to anyone. I'd rather make coins than waste them, so bring me something of value. Do you have anything for sale? How much gold do I have? Not a lot. I don't see any gold at all. He says, I can go and pick up a few things for you. Some food for your travels to start with. Apples, nuts, sausage. Not too many at once. We need to maintain our supplies. Got an elk fur I don't need. Its buyer was caught by a pack of red wolves. Nice for a sleeping spot. Just as nice for a wall. An almost untouched bowl of soap rather.
Priceless for a traveler. You can't tell if he's being sarcastic. Made of fine oak ash. Strong. But you should have some better supplies before you start your own bathhouse. After you mentioned you'd like something more useful on these roads, he looks down. I don't have any blades or armor to spare, but if you pay well, you can take one of our crossbows and a bunch of corals, a yew-bow, wool cords, and the trigger needs a little bit of oil. It's as good as you can get without soaking it in magic. Takes a bit of muscle to draw, but even a 16-year-old could handle it. Maybe even a 7-year-old. I won't sell it cheap, but I'm ready to give a discount to a helpful ally. Soap says, nah, you'd probably need soap since there's a high chance of getting something poisonous or some kind of irritant on you. Plus to help clean wounds. Yeah, also I'm very stinky, apparently. And dirty. I want that soap. How much do I have? I have 5. So I'll get the box of soap. And, corals. Ooh. I have 0 food. I need the food. I can't afford the elk fur, so yeah. Yeah, I spent almost all my money. Okay, great. Can I sleep here or nah? I don't think I can afford a room now. It's Dave Augustine. Greetings, Boar and friends. Greetings, sir. We're playing a text-based adventure RPG. We're a road warden. We're like a ranger, sort of. In a wild, untamed land. Okay, but before we continue, I'm going to be right back. Hang on. Sorry, Dave. Alright, I've returned. The guy was turning into Jeff Bridges. Dave says, how was everyone's New Year? Mine was pretty good. Played some Oblivion. It was a bit odd doing that sober just because everyone else in chat, well, most people were, yeah, a bit rowdy. Alright, well. So you step outside. Charles the horse is napping. You hear the sounds of work coming from the armorer's workshop. I approach the guards. The woman in yellow armor is kneeling next to a brown hairy boar, which is resting on its side. The beast is not as large as the dark ones from the forest. It responds to the touch of the human's hand, and brush with grateful grunting and rapid twitches of a hind hoof. No matter how friendly it appears, it's still tethered to the well, and you have no doubts that its charge would leave Charles dead in a breath. Dave says, yeah, I got a bit blurry myself, high five. When the woman notices you, she steps forward to the boar's disappointment. So, the new Roadwarden. She points at the window with her chin, forestalling the question. We don't need anything now, but when we travel with our furs, we can use some assistance. Okay, it's weird that there's only one Roadwarden per area. She may be around 30, but her warm voice and bright smile... What do you mean, but? She may be an old hag, but her warm voice and bright smile are camouflaging the touch of time. The touch of time? What the devil? Oh my god. That is hilarious. This old bag... She's 22 years old. She's like practically a grandma. The boar runs up behind her, observing her boots and fruitlessly sniffing for food beneath the beaten ground. She pats its back, but maintains her focus. How about a game or two? We have a bit of time, and can talk a bit about this and that. Maybe you'll get a couple of coins, or lose one. We could play dice? No, I don't gamble. What? Okay, thank God. I don't have time. Yeah, I don't gamble. Oh, I wouldn't call it gambling, just a couple games. Her smile disappears. Yeah, you can't fool me, bitch. Bob, I read that? Just letting you know. I'm so confused. She says, find anything to do in this hole ain't easy. Last time I saw a bard from the south, I don't remember when it was. Dave says, 30 years old. Off to the retirement hole, you old bag. What in the hell? Tell me about yourself. She says, oh, what was that? After a brief giggle, her voice gets cold and serious. Nah, Roadwarden. We use names and stories among friends. You ain't one. I walk away immediately. A bitch. You're not my friend, but I'm begging you to play games with me. A bitch. She's like, I haven't seen a new face in 30 years. You're not my friend. I head to the armorer. We walk past the well and find a small open shed. Not unlike the stable, but with a humble set of tables, carving tools, hammers, sharpening stones, pincers, knives, and other tools. As long as something can be solved by brute force, this place will find a way to do so. There are two people sitting on a long bench. The first one is a male with maybe inch-long hair, a cleanly shaven face, a thin, long, yellow tunic, bare legs, and sandals. He ignores your presence, sewing a gambeson with great concentration. Duck Swan says, what is the doing? We are in and in. And we're asking people about shit. The second person is a boy, maybe 15, who's wearing the crude outfit of a farmer. He glances at you, but soon returns to sharpening a long dagger. I wait for them to notice me. After a billion hours, the man finishes his task and raises his hand. He puts away the piece of garment on the table, stands up, bows to you, and shrugs, waiting for you to speak. Did you patch up my clothes if they were torn? He shakes his head and points at the uneven seams on his own tunic, then grabs a crude bone needle and shows you its broken head. He wouldn't even if he had the tools, says the boy. But you can try in Howler's Dell or Gale Rocks. Maybe not right now, but I may be in need of your services. New trader unlocked. He nods, points at the laces in the front of your jacket, raises his so is the blacksmith a mute? Raises his clenched fingers to his shoulders, then gently spreads and lowers them, as if he's taking off a robe. You follow his command and allow him to properly inspect your gambeson. After a few minutes, he gives it back, then reaches for his pouch. He pulls out one dragon bone, shrugs, then another one, and waves them both in the air, pursing his lips. Pursing your lips is like making the smooch like this, I think. He makes a few speech-like noises with his empty mouth, groaning what sounds like, I consider his offer that I don't understand. Gambeson repairs is 1 gold. We should be fine. I need more vitality. You should take a break. Yeah. Why can't my sleep? I need to sleep, dude. I guess I have to forage for berries. Lame. I need to clean myself too. Where's my soap? Where's my damn soap? I think I might have bought those crossbow corals for no reason, because I notice I have 7 now. Spanking Matt, hello and good evening. Oh, shit. What do you guys think about the color palette? It's interesting, like, I don't know why they didn't go with more color. I go to the well. A recently renovated wooden roof covers the well from rain and birds. One of the guards is enjoying a cold drink he drew with a bucket and tells you to use only as much water as is necessary. The oak ash soap you own can help you get cleaner. I wash my fucking ass. Spankin says, good on you. Piper says, it reminds me of playing games on my old Tandy, but in a good way. I'm weirdly reminded, I don't have similar experiences, but it kind of reminds me of the Virtual Boy, where everything was red. Not this detailed, obviously. Played it for one day, and then next day my mom's like, you can't play that anymore, you'll get headaches. Splashing yourself with cold water from a bucket won't take away your smell, but it's enough to remove the tallow and sweat from your skin, or mud stains from your clothes. I step away. Like says, I played that once at a Toys R Us and I definitely got a headache. Yeah, wasn't it like flashing lasers in people's eyes? It's not good. Okay, I foraged for berries. The innkeeper knew what he was talking about. You put on the gloves and look through the bushes from a safe distance. It doesn't take long before you notice the first serpent lying on a rock somewhere in the thicket. The creatures are not that large, and even if some of them hiss at you or slither closer, The jabs of the hook keep them at a distance. Breakfast says it was also not a good video game platform. Yeah, you had to lay down, right? I don't know much about these berries. They are round and reddish, and you wouldn't trust such a color even if you were looking for food in the wilderness. The plants don't have thorns. The leaves are harsh, so you make sure to thoroughly cover your skin with your clothes. You have to look through many bushes to fill the bucket, but the presence of insects and snakes doesn't allow you to relax. Hey Apache, how are you? I gather the berries and go back to the inn. You gathered a bucket full of berries. You've returned to the courtyard, and 2 of the guards are participating in a friendly skirmish. Their wrestling is accompanied by a crowd. I enter the inn. Skinner, how are you? Some of the windows are open now, revealing the dust dancing in the sunbeams. The innkeeper is leaning on the counter, dividing a small pile of dragon bones. Something bothering you? I put his fruits on the counter. You lost the berries. Great. He peeks inside the bucket. I got cabbage stew with a few goose chunks for you. I'd serve it even to the merchants, if there were any around. The meal is warm and filling. It's well seasoned and not overcooked. And like I said, I rarely have food to spare, but feel free to ask if you ever need to stop by. You may be lucky, and I've been cooking my whole life. I keep chewing. And how did that old hook of mine work out for you? I see you still have your hands. I give him the hook. I'm fine. I could also say, I'd like to buy it from you. I don't think I have any money left. I'll just say I'm fine. I could have lied and said I lost it, but I'm not like that. Spanking Matt says, you can eat snakes in this game, right? No. He takes the tools from you and nods. Need anything else? I want to sleep, dude. Dude? That's all I need. So I go to the armorer and I look at the youngster. Learning the trade, I see. Kind of, he answers reluctantly, but his teacher pats his knee, giving him a harsh look. The kid clears his throat. Yes, but we both ain't masters, you see. There's not a soul to teach us, so once I'm ready, I'll try hunting instead. Fixing things for others is boring. The man grunts a sound, though you don't understand it. Seeing your face, the boy chuckles. He said, safe. Let's meet in the middle. Boring, but safe. The man nods. I feel like this Gambison could use some adjustments. I don't have any fucking money. I leave the shed. Have you ever been at the heart of the woods? I ask a guard. She says, we sometimes hunt south from here. There are good hunting grounds in the western half. The second one is too overgrown. Maybe the soil is different. I'll give her a voice. She shrugs, then moves the hair away from her forehead. But it's a risky spot. There are tree ants there, and wolves, even the furless ones. And if you have to go through the tall grasses, watch out for what's on the ground. There ain't many archers in the trees. She smiles as if it's a joke. But there are all too many worms, even larger than a water leech. I was foraging for berries for the innkeep. She chuckles, so I've heard. Don't worry about it. Usually we forage by ourselves, but he wouldn't ask you for a dragon for a meal. What? He gives small jobs to people all the time, just to see who agrees to do them. Wants to judge who's of use, and who's too proud for their own good. I have some questions about this place. Not much to tell, honestly. There are many beasts around, both wild game and dangerous monsters. We spend our time surrounded by these walls, leaving only to hunt, forage, and trade. That's an unusual tower. I'd expect it to be closer to the gate and shorter. Like in Havlaven? Fair. But I ain't here to protect the gate. The stronghold was built long before we moved in, and not to fight off humans. The tower was meant to be used by those who observe the deep forest. We look out for fires, dragons, and any winged creatures that are looking to roost on the roof. Badly. Oh, Baldy. She nods towards a man who indeed is completely bald, has a great eye, and sees well even in darkness. Any interesting creatures living nearby? Ha! Here? Everything lives here. She flips her hair. Whoosh. I swear. We saw a few dragons, a unicorn family, a battle between trolls and goblins, these 2 beastmen, oh, and a gargoyle, and a hunting queen shouts all the time. I could tell you all about them, but I won't. She winks and pats the boar on its head. You know, hunters have their secrets. The group seems to be quite attached to this boar here. How could you not be? She crouches and raises the boar's head, but it steps away and squeals as if someone's murdering it. It came with us from the city, just in case. We had no clue how our first winter would go, so we needed some backup meat. And it works too, cleans the dirt. She reaches out to the beast again, but it trots away. The woman straightens up with a pleased sigh. We haven't needed to eat it so far, but it's also funny. I learned in my home village the farm boars are getting a bit smaller and more cuddly. I'm losing her accent and giving her a bit of a drawl. Kinda like ibexes. So it's not such a wild, dangerous beast. But we don't let it get too close to other animals or children. The ibex. What do you usually hunt for? Anything we can eat or sell. If there's a partridge, a squirrel, or a rat, we don't complain. But when we move as a group, we look for something larger. Deers and aurochs are delicious, but we don't always look for the taste alone. There's value in bones, antlers, claws, and tusks, things people use to make tools or sculptures. We use some of them to make tools and spears. You can never have enough spears. She pauses and looks at a strand of her hair, then suddenly speaks up again. And we look for furs, of course. And what can I find north of here? I'm sorry, we don't really go to those regions. We stay close to home, only sometimes move south or west to Howler's Dell, but only to trade. They're fine with buying more that they need, since they take the wares to the coast. She takes a long breath, twirling her hair and gathering her thoughts. You know what? I've never even seen a beach. And I've been living here for how many? More than 10 years now. She giggles. The only part of the sea I've seen was from Old Pagos, which is placed on a hill. I've never put a toe in salt water. She looks towards another huntress who confirms that her experience is the same. But Old Pagos is a good place, as long as you don't muck their order and act nice. They'll also be kind. Boss says they're too serious for him to stand them, but at least they don't bite without a reason. Have you heard anything about necromancers? It's something new. Her voice lowers to a whisper. I've never been to White Marshes, but over the years, we've seen people moving away from there, south. They told us that the place was changed too much. A priest died, I think, and the new one awakens the dead. Sorry, Roadwarden. That's all I know. If she's hiding something, she sounds convincing. Thanks. She observes you with a hand casually resting on her hip. I'm looking for knowledge about wild creatures. Well, I told you our knowledge is valuable. I don't know. She looks at the boar, which seems to be obsessed with a clump of grass growing next to the wall. 15 dragons, what the fuck? Oh my god. How do I sleep, you crazy bitches? Is there any point to this map? I can't click anything. I need to sleep. God damn it. I think I've asked everything. I can't sleep here. Maybe it's too early. All right. That is bizarre, yeah. My character's like, I'm exhausted. So do I have an actual map? Nope. Daytime rest. I can rest in the middle of nowhere. Oh, this is just a key, never mind. Alright, so I guess we're going west. The road uphill meanders, slowing you down and forcing you to pay close attention not only to the shadows of the trees, but also to the tight, rocky passages. You can't help but notice a few caves and fine ambush spots. But keep an eye out for any signs of life. Standing in front of the gate, you hear no voices, no tools at work, no steps. Dozens of birds live among the collapsed roofs. Their fluttering, singing, and squawking is free of worries. Is this a goblin village? If you want to travel any further, you need to ride around the palisade. Searching the ruins may take a lot of time. Oh, it is the goblin village. The goblin village. The broken gate in the north will lead you to the village. The sound of a gentle river reaches you from the east, where you see a saggy fence surrounding an overgrown pasture. Behind the burnt building in the east, you see an oddly barren field. I will take a closer look at the gate. The palisade is in good shape, and the entrance wasn't even touched by the fire. It was torn away, possibly thrown. The amount of used force must have been huge. But you'd expect that it would push the gate into the village, not away from it. You don't see any marks of a dragon bite. A troll could toss such planks, but after so many years, you see no paw prints. A mage? You can't really tell. I will approach the building near the field. The broken logs and planks are charred, while the wooden walls are rotten and covered in moss. You see no ashes or dust, proving that the fire happened long ago. The smell is awful. There are no reasons to stay for long. You see no furniture, just some broken shelves. It was just a storage room. The valuable odds and ends were already taken by the scavengers. I move forward. I explore the southwest part of the village. I inspect the fields in the south. I'm going to save. I inspect the pasture. You don't find a single sign of livestock that lived here in the past. Any bones, horns, antlers, or dung have already been devoured by the wilderness. The pasture ends at the river. On the opposite bank, the meadow turns into a thick forest, impenetrable for a rider. What are the chances that a herd of defenseless animals could get there and survive? The breach in the southern fence wasn't made by some brute force. You find axe cuts in the spots that were ultimately broken away. After all these years, there are no tracks that you could follow. This calls for a drinky poo. Okay. It's Rafferty, how's it going? Oh, I can see your little icon now. We're playing a text adventure. We are a wandering kind of road warrior, a road warden. We're like a ranger in a very, very kind of dangerous medieval setting. Return to the main road. I explored the southwestern part of the village. The buildings, some of which have collapsed, are made of wood, now charred and rotten. You spot claw marks in the walls, especially close to the doors and window frames. They could belong to a dragonling, or maybe a large wolf. Larger than the gray ones, or a corpse eater. Too many options to make a guess. Yet no beasts remain in sight. You find the remains of clothes, furniture, odds and ends. Only one object seems to be of use. A basket-like fish trap made of vines and willow branches. Oh, that's actually what they made fish traps out of in medieval times. Wow. If a large fish swims into it, it won't be able to get out on its own. It's quite large, but I can fit it on my saddle. You picked up a fish trap. You feel a slight aching in your stomach. Can I eat? How do I actually use stuff? You don't need to eat right now. Okay. Okay. Can I kill myself? My options are, I inspect the palisade in the west. I explore the northwest part of the village. I go to the main square. Let's go to the main square. In every village, the main square is the fanciest area, meant to charm travelers. Yet this is way more than you expected. The houses are as big as in Hevloven, and the paved ground took a lot of work and materials. The walls, now charred and riddled with holes, are made of expensive coated wattle. The tiles for the roofs also had to be brought here from a different settlement. Fancy. You peek inside the three smaller buildings, the rotting remains of their former splendor. The birds living in a dozen of these nests respond to your arrival with quite a commotion. You don't find even a single dragon bone, nor a tool or a piece of furniture left unbroken or unrotten. You're surrounded by bad smells, dirt, animal droppings, and garbage. The well also stinks. It has no bucket, but you'd be afraid to use it anyway. Who knows how many birds have relieved themselves inside, or how many old rats have found their death while climbing up the walls. Suddenly, you hear some sounds coming from the largest building. Your stomach makes you let out a painful groan. The fuck? What's with my stomach? Should we check it out or walk away? I'm not hungry. What could it be? Am I sick? Is there some sort of like... Do they have a smell? A toxic fume? What do you think, chat? Should we investigate?
Yeah, Boar, do it.
Okay, I should check it out. I prepare my axe. You step cautiously towards the scent of urine and sweat. Delicious. The flickering candlelight shows you broken furniture, yet no signs of burnt wood. You consider pulling the other door when a masculine voice proves that your presence is not unnoticed.
I didn't want it to come to this. Just stay where you are. Wherever you put inside, be it a shoe, a hand, or a damned thinker, it'll get a bolt. My throat.
Friendly, playful, distanced, intimidating, vulnerable, friendly. Relax, stranger, I'm a roadwarden.
And you chose this place to visit? From all that there are? Even outlaws don't come here.
He pauses, then goes on before you respond.
It may be that you're telling the truth. So let's say this. My little ballista here is all pulled and ready. But you won't do anything stupid, right? No running. No jumping around. Show your hands.
The man's voice lacks confidence, and his accent is tricky for you. He could be from a distant south, but as long as you don't speak too quickly, you understand one another. You don't hear any other movements, breathing or voices. You lean your axe against the floor frame and make sure that your knife is well hidden. I walk inside. I'm gonna save. The dense smell of urine hits you with full force, while the tools and utensils are hard to distinguish from the rubbish. The route to the upper floor is blocked by the collapsed roof and loose wooden beams. There are scrapes of rusting iron and steel on the ground, detached from now destroyed barrels. The scavenger is sitting on a blanket in front of the tent, pointing at the door with his loaded crossbow. Not a short man, though, but is skinny. He's tanned, dark-haired, and has seen his share of struggles. There are long claw scars on his left cheek, and another one that would divide his eyebrow in half if it hadn't been consumed by a fire. Just like the rest of his forehead. His clothes are untainted by vanity. He's barefoot in a dirty linen shirt with rolled-up sleeves and simple pants that use a cord for a belt. His long beard and hair are untrimmed and tangled. Hey Kaboom, how's it going? Yeah, I do apologize for that. I sit on the stairs with raised hands. I'm not a threat. I stand near the door, watching his weapons unprepared. Yeah, I'm gonna stand near the door. He follows your gaze.
Not a good way to make the air warmer, eh? I try to be safe, that's all. And I can't let you stay in my shelter. You better ride ahead. I already piled up whatever hasn't rotten.
I think we'll play this game entirely on YouTube. How's that? I know perhaps YouTube would rather see Skyrim or Fallout, but well, what do you guys think? The candlelights are dancing on his burnt face. I'm actually not sure how long this game is, but yeah, it's fun so far. There's very few games like this, just a pure text adventure. The last one I think we played was Age of Decadence. The candlelights are dancing on his burnt face and arms.
I saw your horse. Maybe you can help me, What are you looking for in this place? You don't sound like you're from the north.
I want to make sure there are no undead crawling around. I need to get to know the peninsula if I'm going to patrol it. I'm short on dragon bones. I wanted to see if there's anything left behind. I was wondering what caused this place to collapse.
Well, I won't guess, but I saw many ruins. There is no treasure here, and there is no treasure and skeletons here, so this place means as much as dirt. Someone was barking too loud, so the beasts broke through and made them quiet again.
He clicks his tongue.
And that's that. Talking about nature's fury bring bad luck, don't you know?
The horrible Scottish accent that I'm trying to do really does a number on my throat.
Listen.
He scratches his thighs nervously.
I'm hungry. So damn hungry. I can't hunt or fish with all the ape men around.
Ape men?
Can you share anything, Roadster? I may be a drifter, but I wouldn't beg if I had not lost my bags on the road.
Kaboom says, oh, that's why you're taking breaks. Yeah, I'm sipping this Diet Coke. I can say here, I have prunes, a sausage, and some nuts. Should be enough for tomorrow as well. Take these cereals and crackers. With some water, you'll have a gruel. You gave away a food ration. He lets out a relieved breath.
I may even boil it.
After a moment of hesitation, he grabs a cracker.
Without you, I would have to run after birds with my ballista. But I need to save the bolts for the ape men.
Yeah, what are these ape men? I need to look at my journal. Like that I can do that mid-conversation. Apes and monkeys, the limbs and tails of these furred critters, are ape men counted in that? I think they are. The limbs and tails of these furry critters have an uncanny strength, a result of the time they spend swinging from branches and climbing, doing their best to avoid the terrestrial predators. Unlike goblins, they rarely attack humans and don't use weapons, but can savagely defend their territories to the point of participating in lasting wars with other packs, and even with human settlements. Some tribes hunt for their meat, but these beasts are still hardly understood, and many tales ascribe to them unusual powers and abilities. The communities that distinct apes from monkeys usually describe the former as the larger ones with broader chests, so it's just describing apes and monkeys. Okay. It said ape men. So animal husbandry. Where's Mr. X? Skinner says, man is not already monkey. Spankamat says, they sound tasty. You're damn right. Atheism. Kaboom says, he said 8 men, but you got confused from his accent. I'm reading. Although I do read things wrong all the time. I was just joking, Boar God. Eight men is like this universe's 5 guys. That's funny. Oh, now I'm hungry. By the way, I have to make a confession. Every BRB, I've been grabbing a handful of Cheez-Its. I'm sorry. I should ask him what he wants. Where do you want to travel to now? And what will you give me for my help? That seems a bit too direct. Douglas says, hell yeah, Cheez-Its, high five. How do you keep the goblins away?
I got a trick or two to keep me safe. A little something that scares them away, even without magic. But tell you what.
His smile turns into a wide grin.
Help me to get out of here, and I'm gonna share some of it with you.
Yeah, this village makes me sick.
Me too. In the guts and in the thinker. It's easier with time, if you're patient. Must be the air, the smell of death and ape men. Yes.
Oh, is he calling goblins ape men? Okay. He pats his stomach while laughing. Let's see. Tell me about yourself. He gives you a sullen glance.
What for? I've no legacy to keep alive in tales. I may tell you this, and that after you take me out of here.
Are you sure there are no undead around?
He nods. I've seen none. People say it's been less than 10 years since the herds came here. I don't know if anyone bothered with raising the pyres. If not, the dead are all roaming in the forest now.
He clicks his tongue with frustration. Or maybe it's more like,
It may be that.
oh, I'm losing his accent.
It may be that.
Oh, I did it again.
It may be that there's a walker somewhere under the debris, waiting to break through like a dragon in an egg.
He looks straight at you.
Aye, you'd better not dig.
Have you searched the entire village? Are there no hidden treasures left?
You came to the wrong place. Time, moisture, and the damn boarers devoured all the loot.
What's a borer?
I've been here for a couple of days now, and all that's left is this iron I carried here. I was planning to get back here with some hired muscle and clear the collapsed buildings, but I doubt it's worth the time and the risk.
I've heard about some bandits. Have you seen any hideouts nearby?
Nah, I think they're all in the north, or maybe the east. I stuck to the western road, and no shell bothered me.
So shell in this universe is like body. So nobody bothered me. Boom says, damn, Boar, you ate all the loot. I'm sorry, guys.
Boar, did you eat the loot again?
Sorry.
God damn it, Boar. Fucking A. You're lucky you're Tyler's brother. Sorry, guys. Tyler, bro. One more mishap like this and we're kicking Boar out of the fucking band.
I'm looking for another road warden, a man known as Esterion.
I've never met him, but I surely heard his name many a time. He vanished long before I got to the coast. At first, people were asking about him. Now they think he's dead.
I should ask him what he wants. Where do you want to travel to now? And what will you give me for my help?
Let me explain first, I was in Howler's Dell, the closest village to the east and north, and people there are nice, you know. Not like in old Pagos. They're all boring and
Grimmer? Is grimmer a word? Wouldn't it be more grim? I don't know.
And grimmer than a crow. But they cry coin for everything, and damn good coin. I left. Wanted to look around the ruins, see if there's anything left. Then moved to Pelt and hire the hunters to help me there. No luck. A bunch of griffs jumped my pack bird. I just bought it.
He spits on the floor.
Fast and nimble. But not brave enough to listen to me when all that screeching and scratching started. So, it ran away with me bags. A few fell on the ground, and I pulled them here. But you see how it is. I won't travel around with a tent on my back.
He taps the crossbow with his fingers.
I need maybe a day more. Aye, just a day, and I'll have all the iron scrapped from the barrels, so I can move forward. But I can't take all my stuff alone, and without me around, the ape men are going to break in and steal all my shit. I need to stay here. But since you have a horse, come back tomorrow and help me return to Howler's Dell. How about it? I need to know that the road is safe. Safe as it can be, I mean.
What exactly do you want me to do?
I need ye to make sure there's no danger on the road. From here to Howler's. Or rather, I know there's some danger. As long as you can get there and safely return, I'm sure we can handle some Roman monsters. Getting a bit more Irish.
Hey, Silop, good to see you. We're playing a text adventure. We're like a traveling ranger, a road guardian. In a country that's fallen into disrepair, there's more monsters than men. on the very frontier of the world. We're talking to a not dwarf in a place that's been overrun by goblins. Oh my goodness, he theatrically rubs his hands together.
This ballista has hit more beast skulls than I have fingers, and I've never lost a finger, Roadster. Only the toes.
Maybe to prove it, he starts to count on his fingers.
So, see if the road there is clear, then come here tomorrow. I'll pack my stuff on your horse and move out. But don't come when it's close to evening. We're going to need 3 hours on our feet, and I won't push through the night. Even sleeping next to an ape-man tribe is safer.
He chuckles.
And don't make me wait for too long. I can wait for a couple of days if I find food. But if you don't get back, I'll have to risk it. No matter what.
Xylop says, I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3 lately. Oh, is that, out? Is that finished? Will that game ever be finished? Why Howler's Dell? If you want to go south, we should travel to the Pelt of the North.
I mean, I see a point, but I've never been there. Can they afford my iron? Do they have means to pay for it? I need coins to find a handy bunch that'll walk south with me. I need a new staff and bolts. I know the village is a nice place, and even has a smithy of sorts.
Xylop says, no, they just added the Paladin class, but full release is August 2023. Mother of God. I still gotta finish Baldur's Gate 2. And I've been hesitant to continue, because it's been so long. I stopped midway. Like, says, if by finished you mean they didn't just reskin Divinity Original Sin 2? No. Yeah, they definitely did that. I hate that.
I hate it, bruh.
Boom says he meant to type it's August 2023. That's a long time from now. I had a chance to take a look though. It's a large inn, a safe one. You seem to be rich and have enough hunters to guide you south. You can use iron to barter.
Well, it's a shorter path, I guess. Fewer spots to get surrounded by corpses. If you're sure it's the best place, it's the best option, fine. I'll trust a roadster's judgment.
I don't work for free.
I have ways to pay you, don't you worry. I can give you dragons, but I have to sell the iron first, so I'll need a bit of time, you see. 5 for a short escort will be plenty, I'd say. But if you want, I'll give you a secret jar of mine. Very fine mixture that scares ape men away. Works on pebblers, too.
What the hell's a pebbler? When you ask if all this stench of urine is somehow related to this potion, he just winks and chuckles. I'm not going to carry that around. That's going to lower my charisma. Kaboom says, Divinity Original Sin 2 is good, but it's not Baldur's Gate. To be honest, I'll probably get the new game once it's finished. I already bought it, yeah. And it's like the core roleplay game of the channel. That's where we made Hothnen. There's just there's a very small group of people in the channel who actually like listening to me read a text adventure game for hours on end. So I got out of habit, and then it's just been too long. So we gotta get into it. No, but remind me, we need to flesh out a plan for that. It's like the third time I've said this, but I always forget. Spankin' Man says, Jar OP for ye. I'd also like to learn more about the villages you visited. He seemed surprised. Lipper says, I will remind you at some point, but I also always forget. High five. He seemed surprised.
I mean, aye, sure. I don't have connections there, you know. Just me eyes.
Kaboom says, I like when you read. Thanks, Kaboom. He starts to hum.
You know,
A longer pause.
when you get to Howler's, you'll meet the mayor there for sure. Deus. And whatever you do, don't ask her where she got your coins from, aye? She's rich, stupid rich. And don't ask her how this happened. Trust me.
He scratches his beard with a mournful look. Fine, it's a deal. I'm going to escort you.
Thanks, Roadster. Just come tomorrow. I'll make it worth your time.
Time for me to fucking leave.
I need a poop.
Let's see. I inspect the palisade to the west. The tracks of human footwear and many, many more ape footprints cover the path formed around the palisade's breach. As far as you can tell, the freshest footprints lead to the village. The wooden stakes spread on the ground are rotten, covered in mushrooms, small flowers, insects, and worms. A good source of animal or goblin food, though you'd expect them to also hunt for the birds and eggs. The meadow in the west turns into a forest quickly. The grasses in the north surround dozens of tree stumps already covered with moss and fungi. I shouldn't enter the forest, especially not in this area. It's unpredictable. Your stomach makes you let out a painful groan. Where do you want to go? Scavenger's Camp? Northern Gate. The paths here have almost been reclaimed by grasses. To your east and west you see shadowy alleys behind damaged buildings. I take a closer look at the gate. Pushed or pulled, it doesn't move an inch. Someone has spread dirt and rocks both underneath it and around it, seemingly to keep the planks stuck in the ground. I approach the nearby tree. You don't find anything worth picking. The half-dead quinces have maggots crawling under their skins. You wonder which part of this meal is more tempting for the dark-winged birds sitting amongst the branches. The flesh of the fruits, or the worms. Or hot dogs. Quinces are rarely eaten without having a chance to blet. What? Blancos are rarely blonged without blinging their blangs. You can safely guess that they were meant to be dried, or to add taste to cookies or hard drinks. After a few moments, you realize that the bottom part of the tree, just above the ground, is partially charred. Someone must have posed a torch here. It's a weird way of saying it. But the wet wood didn't burst into flames. I look into the well. It's filled up with soil, and you find nothing interesting about the area around it. I want to open the gate. You should take a closer look at the other side, just to be sure it's even possible, especially since it may take a couple of hours without proper tools. I go somewhere else. I walk far away from the walls. Leaning on your mount, you go outside, keeping your mouth shut. After a few minutes, your eyes get clearer. It may be better to leave, or at least to stay away from the village for the rest of the day. You stop and touch your stomach. Where do you want to go? I inspect the clearing to the west. The meadow is lush and colorful, and so dense it's unsafe for a rider. What? Looks fine.
He looks fine.
For a couple of minutes, you lead Charles the horse with a rope, avoiding the potential disaster in case of a hoof falling into an animal den. Being forced to travel around the palisade every time you get here is going to be a pain. Most of the tree trunks look similar and have a comparable size. They were most likely planted with the sole purpose of being cut down and used by the locals. So cutting so many trees at once, that alone could provoke the wrath of the herds. Such a process should be spread across a couple of seasons. You can't be sure that was the case. In the west and north, the clearing turns into a wild forest. In the east, you see a road leading north. I leave the clearing. I inspect the fields in the southwest. You are surrounded by what looks like a field plowed in late autumn, disturbed by hundreds of rains and snowfalls. There's a few clumps of grass and wheat. But a place like this one, abandoned for years, should already have turned itself into a green lea. A barren field? Maybe it was overused. But you would still expect the weeds to sprout. A curse? The path leading west from here ends at the edge of the field, shifting into a meadow and a forest. I go to the road leading north from the village. You're at the closed northern gate. The neglected road is partially overgrown. You hear a river in the east, separated by a lush meadow filled with crickets and rodents. I go to the river. You see a quenching family of boars, some of them brown, some black, some 100-year-old boars. You consider turning back, but they pay you little attention. After a couple of grunts, they run north. The river is not too wide, yet unusually deep, with banks altered by the locals for decades, if not centuries. The water is cold and clean, yet filled with long plants growing from the bottom. You would rather avoid jumping inside or drinking from it, but you're tempted to at least wash your face, neck, and hands. Dozens, if not hundreds of small fish are looking for tasty leaves, but also try to avoid their predators. A dance of life, completely unaware of your presence. You suddenly realize there's something else buried among the kelp. A rusty sickle is sticking out of the ground, a couple of stone axes and hoes. The wooden handles and a large wagon are covered with moss, but you recognize their shapes. Why would someone drop them here? Logan Rain says, I've never seen this game before, it's new. He says, what's it about? Hello Logan, welcome back. It is a text story-based RPG. We are a road warden, we're like a ranger, a road guardian for hire. And we are operating in a kingdom that is in decline. There's a shitload of monsters, and we're like on the frontier. And our main mission right now is finding another road warden who went missing. And that's all we know for now. We're exploring, and this village here was sacked by goblins. I'm looking around. I turn back. Where do you want to go? I consider washing myself in the river. The living stream, filled with fish and plants, won't help you much. The oak ash soap you own can help you get cleaner. I step away. You need 3 pieces of bathing equipment to get more out of this place. God damn it. The fuck? I'll spend some time setting up a fish trap at the bank. You place the basket on the ground, then grab a bowl and start digging, looking for a few larger worms. You bait the stick and push it inside the basket, locking it between the sides. Then cover the entrance with the lid. Tying it together takes you a few good moments, but will be easier later on. You attach the entire trap to a bush and push it into the stream, far enough that it sinks entirely. Who knows how long it will take before something large enough swims inside. Still, It would be better to not wait for too long, otherwise the prey may die of hunger. Time to get out of here. Okay, we'll do one more thing and then we'll stop for today. But before then, I will be right back.
I've returned.
So should we go back to the Pelt of the North or to the West? Can I see what time of day it is? I cannot. Do I have a level? After years of training to become a fighter, to build connections among the leaders in the North, and to become a major player in the Merchants Guild. So I have big aspirations. I'm a pagan, and I'm a road warden. Not hearing much from chat, so I will just pick a direction. For next YouTube stream, I'm going to choose a lower latency. We're on low latency right now, but we can do ultra low latency. So hopefully that doesn't lag the stream out too badly, but it'll be worth a test. You enter the wetlands, with their many streams, ponds, and fish. Large birds run and fly between the gray, sparse trees that are covered with moss, mushrooms, and critters. For a human, it may be an unwelcoming and harsh realm, but for the overwhelming swarms of insects prove that it's a realm full of life. I can't read. The danger with teeth and claws is hidden below the water surface. I stay away from the banks. Good idea. This plant shouldn't be alive, not without leaves. Day. It's not how trees work, actually. It doesn't resemble the other trees of the wetlands. It's something else. You get off your horse and prepare your axe. The water is filled with dirt and dead plants, and it smells like an old corpse. The roots are spreading far, breaking through the water surface. You don't see any saurians in the grasses or on the shore. Maybe it's an ant. You approach the table-like altar made of 3 limestone slabs. Were these rocks originally as formless as they are now? Or was there a point in time, centuries ago, when they were precisely shaped and decorated by masters of artistry? There's no way to tell. Charles, my horse, is peacefully observing the dark grass and slapping flies with its tail. Hey, Yak, how's it going? Whatever it is that you feel in the air. Yak says, I figured out how to not have my real name. That is great. I'm not going to be too long for this stream. We'll probably do one more scene, and then I have to prepare for D&D tomorrow. So I would say you came to the tail end, but you'll get an idea of this game. I smile and scratch the bottom of its neck. Go ahead. I'll look around for just a moment. There must be a strong spirit hidden in this tree. Maybe I should bring it a gift. Oh, you've been here the whole time, says Yak. Oh. My character is pagan. You've never seen a soul carrier like this one, but you find a comforting glory in its haunting form. You see it as part of the natural order, an incarnation of death. For many city folk, the only acceptable wilderness includes wild game, flowers, and birch sap. But you know the value of balance, the cycle of all things. You wonder what sort of offerings people bring here. You doubt that an altar like this could play only a ceremonial function. Animals, maybe? I look into the water. You step cautiously, without knowing how deep it gets. You have to consider that a saurian could be camouflaged in the mud, waiting for a victim to get near. Since you don't plan to kneel down and drink, you're hoping to dodge a potential strike. Once you get closer, you start breathing again. While the water is dirty, it's also shallow. You see the vegetation, swimming insects, and even small fish. All of them stay away from the tree roots, which look like spiderweb covering the bottom of the pond. Aside from that, you don't see anything that would catch your attention. I look even closely. You kneel in front of one that's lying on the shore. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that on your arm. When you touch it, it's moist, soft, and warmer than you'd expect.
I do something with it.
What do you do? Lick. Like I said, the root is soft and doesn't resist your touch. Its smells is not far off from the stench of water from which it sticks out. You feel its warmth, or maybe it's just a trick of your imagination. After a couple of moments, your lip starts to itch. I do something else. Kiss. You heard me. Make love. You can't do that. Marry. You can't do that. Divorce. Damn it. Engage in an alternative lifestyle with Chin. Wumbo. Knock. Touch. It's weirdly warm. Poke. Hug. I mean, it's really dirty and disgusting. So, the root is soft and doesn't resist your touch. You hold it tightly, even though its smell is not far off from the stench of the water from which it sticks out. While your gambeson keeps it away, you can still feel its warmth. Or maybe it's just a trick of your imagination. After a couple of moments, it doesn't look like it's trying to hurt you, but you feel a pulse of sorts. Mate with. No. Can I pray to it? Talk? Pat? Dance? Disco! Speak Spanish to. I stand up. Indeed, Kaboom. I approach the altar. There's clumped dirt in the uneven nicks, fused by years of winds and rains. The bottom surface of the table is dusty, but you don't find any spiderwebs or mold, even though it's a perfect spot for them. Tree roots cling to the altar in many spots. They're firmly attached. You struggle to move them even by an inch. The cream-colored limestone is cold and smooth. I try to make an offering. What is your sacrifice? Food. You place any type of food that you can find in your sacks or on the nearby plants, but none of them seem to make any difference. I walk away. Fuck. Let's go to the Pell to the north. Pee on it? No, Skinner. God damn it. I go to the inn. I still can't sleep. Okay. Guys, I think I'm going to stop the stream off here for today. I'm going to save. And then I need to pop off and plan for tomorrow's D&D game. So basically done with the next D&D upload. It's mostly cut. And I just need to polish it, so within the next few days. But yeah. Thanks very much for watching. If I have anything to say about it, there'll be another YouTube stream next week. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. There will be more of this game and more of other games in the near future. Let me know if you want to see a reading on YouTube. Or something like that. Maybe more Twitch clips. Let me know in the comments below. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I have a Patreon. If you can't afford a membership here or a subscription on Twitch, please do consider Patreon. Just $1 a month or something. What else? Yeah, follow me on Twitch. I mostly stream to Twitch these days. Yeah, join my Discord. All the information should be in my About page or my main banner or in the description. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Good night and thank you very much for watching.